Spider-Man. So that was the mug of the day. I guess I shall just continue talking for some reason. What's up? So I'm back with another book that I read that I loved and I want everyone else to love as well. And that is Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey. I reviewed another book from the same exact series. It was Fix Her Up. And these are both a part of the Hot and Hammered series. I love it. This one I was not expecting to like as much. So it's Rosie, who you meet in Fix Her Up at the Zumba class. It's Rosie and her husband. They're the main love story. And I just didn't think I was really intrigued when I read slightly about her situation and Fix Her Up. And I honestly expected to just want to get through this book as fast as possible, to get it done with, to get to the next, to get to the third in the series, which is Tools of Engagement. But as I was reading it, I fell in love with it. I loved it more than Fix Her Up. And I think it's because it takes all of its attention to marriage. And I think that's really unique for a romance novel. So it's about falling in love, rekindling things, appreciating each other after you've gotten used to routine in a marriage. And I just loved that concept. It was unique. It made me feel even more, I don't know, gave me those warm feelings when I thought about my own marriage and just how important it is to always see that other person. So I feel like a lot of times when you're in a long-term relationship, doesn't matter if you're married or not, you sometimes forget to see that person because you're just used to them being there. And this book kind of touches on that idea. When you just get used to routine and you don't make the time to make each other feel special, or you get forgetful about, the idea of courting and dating the other person. And I think that's really important. And I think that's why I loved this book so much, because it was about finding that spark and remembering to communicate effectively. And a lot of it was based on the 5 languages of love, which is very pronounced throughout this novel as the couple goes to therapy. I'm not going to give away a lot, but it's very much there. That's another, I guess you could consider that a companion read if you guys liked this book and were interested. I know a lot of people who have read the 5 languages of love. It's a massive series about different types of relationships. I have not read them, so I do not know how useful they are, so I won't recommend it until I've read those. But nothing wrong with checking those out. I'm assuming they seem widely popular, and they seemed useful in this plot. It seemed very useful in this plot. It was super smutty and spicy, but in such a tension-filled way. Like, you weren't given, the big scene right away, like a lot of romances. Like, you had to earn this one. But all that tension and that lust, it's all still there. It's just amplified because they aren't allowed to consummate their marriage as ordered by their therapist. It's very good. It's very funny, but it adds to a lot of romantic and sexual tension, which is what we all want in a romance book, right? I mean, I sure do. So it was very spicy, it had that realism to it that, marriage is hard work, and sometimes you just forget to work on a marriage, because I think a lot of times people tend to be like, oh, we're married, we're done with all that. We're done with all that zhuzh, done with all that effort. And to an extent, that's true, but at the same time, you still need to always make an effort to make the other people feel heard and feel special. Just because you're married doesn't mean you don't have to keep working on your relationship. And that's something that ties into this book, but also ties into the kind of underlying theme that ties all of the series together, which is like home renovations. So just like a home renovation, you have to keep upkeeping a house. You have to keep always making fixes. Same thing with a marriage or a relationship. And I love that concept. And I also love just home renovations. So adding that slightly to these books makes me love these books even more. So I loved it. I loved it more than the first one, more than Fix Her Up. I gave this one, I think, 4 stars, and Fix Her Up has like 3.5 stars in my mind, just because I loved this so much. And I also loved how much food took an importance in the plot. And it made me very, very hungry while I read this, and you probably will be too, but I loved it. I'm really looking forward to the third one, which is Tools and Engagement. I have it. I'm currently reading it, so hopefully I will be out with a review for that soon. Do not miss this series, especially if you are one for happy endings, if you're one for romance, romantic comedies, and you just like a good contemporary fiction book, you know. These are kind of a read-alike to the kind of, I'd say, Meg Cabot's adult fiction, I think, is a good read-alike for these. So if you are a fan of Meg Cabot, I think you're going to be a fan of Tessa Bailey. And also there's another series I think will be in the realm of this as a read-alike that I personally enjoyed a lot. It's just a little different, I don't want to say gimmick in a bad way, but a different gimmick. So instead of home renovations, another series that's a read-alike for this is the Well Played series by Jen DeLuca. So instead of it being romance and home renovations like the Hot and Hammered series that this belongs to, Well Played, its gimmick and underlying theme is a Renaissance fair. But also great adult fiction, romance, romantic comedy. I think if you're a fan of any of those, you're going to be a fan of these, especially. So do not miss this series. I loved it very much. I think these would be wonderful to adapt on like Netflix. I would love to see these in like a limited series or each a movie. Or you could even, I'd say, if the production company wanted to take its time, you could fit all 3 into an intermingled movie itself, and I would love it. I think these would be great. So I hope you enjoy these. I hope you decide to pick them up from your local library instead of just buying them, because 1, that saves you money, and 2, that helps libraries, which need all the help they can get right now because of COVID-19. Libraries need people checking their items out. They need stats. And there are, of course, very reasonable ways to get library books right now. Just give your local library a call and see if they have a vulnerable populations time, or if they have like a curbside pickup service where you don't even have to go into the library. But anyway you decide to get your books, make sure it's this one, okay? I'll see you all later with another review. Bye!